Speed JPO 303 channel in episode number 7 of our Formula One 26 My Team JPO Career mode. And we're going to be racing at the Canadian Grand Prix, and also this is our third sprint format race of the season. And if you did miss the previous one, you could go to twitch.tv/speedjpo303, and you could follow up to my channel there by clicking on live streaming on twitch.tv/speedjpo303. And then also, if you want to check AI videos, you can go to TikTok at speedjpo303, also Pavone Barrero and Instagram, and then also you can go to DeviantArt/speedjpo3. And welcome to the new improved SpeedJPO303 channel. And you can go to youtube.com/SpeedJPO303 to subscribe to my channel, and then leave your links and comments down below, chat with my channel, and then click on the red bell to your right to subscribe to youtube.com/SpeedJPO303. In the previous episode at the US Miami Grand Prix, we did a great job out there sweeping up for the first time with the Audi. And the Audi did a great job out there. We did good, and it was a great pleasure to have the Audi sweeping off and getting our 4th win of the season for the US Miami Grand Prix. But can we do it again? Because the question is now, we have rain that is coming in the area for the sprint race. So, and then also the beginning of the race is going to be raining itself. So it's going to be light rain, but then it will clear up, and then at the end we can make it in, and then go with the clear tires. And then qualifying will be clear, and then with the sprint race itself, we should be able to get the whole thing finished without even getting into the rainy hopes. So let's hope that will happen. And we're getting ready for sprint qualifying here. Well, here are the standings that it goes so far. Pepi Marti is still got a pretty good productive lead with the Team JPO 45 Audi with 150 points over the McLaren, and then 112 over Lando Norris. We're also going to do a live streaming on TikTok at SpeedJPinator3, at SpeedJPO303, excuse me. So we're going to go to a live channel. If you want to check that, I'm doing that right now. Well, just hold on a second. We're going to go to that channel. Yeah, it does take a while to put everything together. But I want to compare the two that I want to do. All right, welcome everyone. I'm on live streaming on the TikTok at Speed JPO 303. So you're going to get a chance to watch a live video of it as well. We're getting ready to do some sprint qualifying here at the ready to do some sprint qualifying here at the Canadian Grand Prix for episode number 7 of our Formula 1 26 My Team JPO Career mode. Let's get ready to go.
It's sprint qualifying time, slightly shorter than the normal Grand Prix qualifying, but today we'll determine who starts on pole for the sprint to come.
Alright, we're going to get ready to qualify here for the sprint qualifying of our Formula 1 26 My Team JPO Career mode, and for the first time we're having it on live streaming on TikTok at Speed JPO 303. Hope it doesn't cause any interruptions or anything else. Hope it doesn't freeze or anything else on my other channels.
Right, we're right on the cusp now. We've been pushed down to P11.
Well, we had a minute and 12.489. We're still dropping on the order.
And that's it for sprint qualifying. Plenty more coming up over the rest of the weekend, so we'll see you all tomorrow.
So we got a P5 out of this one in the first sprint qualifying, but there's plenty more ready to go here for the first sprint qualifying, but see if we can try to get it a little bit quicker in the next one. Kimi Antonelli second and Piastri and Norris, and I'm in 5th place. I may have to try qualifying again. We're going to restart the session because we got off the grass a little bit. First time ever I did the TikTok live streaming. We're doing this again because we got off the grass a little bit and then we got a slow time. We're trying to qualify earlier to beat the rain. Well, it puts us into P3, but you know the rain is getting harder, and it's getting like it is enough to get into the third sprint qualifying session because everybody is slowing down.
That's it for sprint qualifying. Plenty more coming up over the rest of the weekend, so we'll see you all tomorrow.
Well, that was a good job right there. We're still in the top 5. The Lando Norris tops the board in the second sprint qualifying. Alexander Albon second, and then Kimi Antonelli third, Leclerc fourth, and then Pepi Marti rounds up the top 5, and Bortoletto is in 6th place. Man, we see some familiar names in that top 8, in that top 10 over there. The second Audi is one of the Audi Revolt team. Gabriel Bortoletto is in 6th place. But Hamilton and everybody else, George Russell, failed to make it as well because they had slow times. This could be very interesting in the session in spring qualifying number 3. Qualify early because now they got the inters on. And it's raining lighter, but if it rains, if we do it early and then we beat out the heavy rain, that would be great. but it doesn't give us a good qualifying lap. Well, it puts us into 8th place, but it doesn't give us enough. And a minute 22.894.
And that's it for sprint qualifying. Plenty more coming up over the rest of the weekend.
Max Verstappen got
see you all tomorrow.
So Max Verstappen got the top of the board, Charles Leclerc, Norris, and then Kimi Antonelli. But we're going to be starting in P9. But it looks like the rain interrupted us a little bit. Okay, we are ready for the sprint race. Of racing here at the Canadian Grand Prix. But let's see if we can try to beat up the rain, because it will be sunny early and then for 23 laps. But the rain doesn't even come until the end. But the rain will interrupt during the main event race. So here we go for episode number 7 of our Formula One My Team JPO Career mode. Here is the 3rd sprint race of the season at the Canadian Grand Prix.
So it's all about speed in today's sprint. Not very many laps and no chance to get ahead on strategy. Who here today has the raw skill to take them to the top? With top speeds of around 210 miles per hour heading into the overtaking opportunity of turn 13, the 2.7 miles of the circuit Gilles Villeneuve are some of the quickest on the Formula One calendar. There are 14 corners in total, with 60% of the lap taken at full throttle, and average speeds clock in at about 130 miles per hour. Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, It's time to see how our starting grid looks for today's sprint. Max Verstappen starts on pole, and it's Charles Leclerc in P2. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Norris, Antonelli, Oscar Piastri, and Hadjar, Albon, Gasly, Pepi Marti, and Gabriel Bortoleto, Hamilton, Sainz, Fernando Alonso, and Russell, Ocon, Bottas, Sergio Perez, and Lance Stroll, Lawson, Hulkenberg, Lindblad, Martins, Behrman, and Franco Colapinto rounds off the grid. And with preparations almost complete, let's head trackside for today's sprint. And alongside me for this commentary, Naomi Schiff. Good afternoon, Gnomes. Well, they say that a change is as good as a rest, and whilst there's not much rest on show in the sprint format today, there's definitely a change to what we're usually seeing on the track. Oh, Canada. Oh, Canada, what a track this is, and what a challenge for the drivers this weekend. Long straights, heavy braking zones, and a very green surface to start with.
This happens to be one of the drivers' favourites. It is a low downforce circuit that is fast and flowing, but it is also demanding on the brakes. And be careful, because let's not forget the wall of champions that catches out so many.
Okay, here we go. I know what you can do. Don't let me down.
Sprint format's the race of the season, and for the first time we ever had a sprint race in the Canadian Grand Prix at Circuit Gilles Villeneuve, at the Villeneuve in Montreal. See what tires are we going to go for? We're going to go for the medium tires. I think we're going to go with the mediums. We're going to go with the medium tire. The strategy looks good. And we're going to take this all the way to 23 laps, and hopefully we can avoid the rain here in the third sprint race of the season in our Formula One My Team JPO Career mode. Can Pepi Marti get another sprint win at the Canadian Grand Prix like he did in the US Miami Grand Prix? We'll see how it plays out. Let's get ready for our third sprint race of the season.
Okay, radar is clear, weather is looking good for now.
And this is a monumental battlefield between these live streamings on YouTube and TikTok.
Okay, incredible parking there, nice one. That's going to give you the edge if you can get a good launch as the race starts. Keep an eye on the lights, the start sequence will begin as soon as the grid is formed. Be ready with the clutch. mode active. Overtake active. You've got more power now from the hybrid system. Use boost on the next long straight to get past.
Oh man, come on. Should have waited. Should have waited to pass the air gas leak.
Boost mode is available now.
Just got a little bit too much there. So trying to save a clean race and not being too aggressive out there. This can be actually now looks like it's getting around Isaac Hogger. Battle over there. They're really going at it. They're going to have to slow down and really have to get back. Well, we do get around them. We'll finally get around here. Gasly and made a nice clean pass, and now we're right behind. After Gasly, just about to be set.
Nice move. Good job.
We almost ran out of the action.
Verstappen's just put up the fastest lap of the race so far. That was the fastest lap of the race. Keep this up.
And
well
we got
done.
the fastest lap there. That was a nice job. And we move up in the P5. We're in the top 5 right now. Trying to catch up on Charles Leclerc.
No tyre concerns at the moment, just focus on the driving. The car behind is dropping back by about 0.3 a lap. Well done. Great manoeuvre, you made it look so easy.
That was a nice move for a little favorite that's kind of getting around Kimi Antonelli. And we move up into P4.
Gap to your teammate behind, 18.2 seconds.
There's the caution for Nico Hulkenberg. What a tough break for the Audi. The Audi was
Green flag. There's not much between you and the car behind, just 2 seconds.
so close to that wall of champions.
Okay, keep the car ahead under pressure. They might make a mistake. Gap is only 2 seconds now. Tyre condition still looking good. Yellow flag. Someone's come off ahead of you. There's a yellow flag ahead.
Breaking down this will be enough.
Okay, clear. Car behind started to drop back. There's a gap beginning to form. Let's make the most of it. chance of taking this position. Come on, you know what to do. Okay, so we're leading our teammate by 30.5 seconds. Okay, mate, boost mode if you need it. Boost mode if you need it.
To 23 laps. We're still trying to keep it preparing the off of Villeneauve. key to know. Still narrowing the gap. Trying to see more Villeneauve especially after 22 laps. They have 3.5 laps to go. These are they're trying to have a good shot at winning out the second sprint race of the season with Pepi Marti.
Pulling out a second a lap on the car behind. Really good stuff.
Close the gap, but he hasn't narrowed the slipstream yet. Taking that lousy bounce going into the champion. Now you're narrowing Tesla gap right now with Lando. Okay, you've just started the final lap of the race. Final lap. You know these medium tires are wearing out because Lando North has the hards. It's also hard for the cars a little bit because the Aston is in third place. But the Audi is still trying to hold on to the car.
Caution! Okay, be aware there's an incident in the next part of the track. No overtaking through the yellow flags.
race anyway. Lane Lawson was out of the race in the final lap, but what a good job, and it's 2 sprint races in a row for Pepi Marti. What a great last-minute moment for Pepi Marti, moving up from 7th all the way into the lead, and he gets another sprint win.
So with the sprint concluded, join us next time for qualifying and of course the main event, this weekend's Formula One Grand Prix. We'll see you next time.
Man, that was good racing right there. A last-minute pass for Pepi Marti, and he found an opening right in the inside of Lando Norris, and he gets the win. Oscar Piastri finishes in 3rd, Leclerc 4th, George Russell in 5th place, Max Verstappen 6th, Lewis Hamilton 7th, and Pierre Gasly gets the final points, sprint point standings, and it gives us 8 points. Let's go and look at the point standings, and we now lead 39 over Lando Norris. So we only gain about a point against him because he finished in 2nd with 119 points. George Russell 3rd, Oscar Piastri 4th, and Charles Leclerc 5th. All right, what a good job in the sprint race. But let's see if Pepi Marti can step it up in the main event. So we go now to the main event qualifying. All right, what a good job we have done. Going from 9th to 1st, but now can we try to step it up a little bit in the main event? It will be clear throughout there, and then we have the beginning of rain in the main event for 70 laps of racing. Let's get ready for the main event qualifying.
Welcome back, everybody. We're here in Canada at the wonderful Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. Who's going to come out fastest of all in the next hour? Yes, it's time for qualifying.
Well, time to beat right now is 1 minute and 12.018, and George Russell is on top of the board.
We've been pushed down to P24, mate. Come on.
Well, not bad. It's P8. It's not too bad, but we got a little bit quicker. But But our boosted battery was still slowing down. And we went well down in the order, and our teammate Victor Martin said that beat us right there with a minute and 12.913. Still need to pick up the pace just a little bit.
We've been pushed down to P17.
No, it's faster. It's a minute and 12.581, but we used too much juice on the battery. Well, P6, we had minute and 12.581. It was faster that time, but Max Verstappen got the top of the board again. But it lets us stay right into P3, but what happened to the Mercedes? Both of the Mercedes are 11th and 12th, and they got knocked out. Well, this could make it interesting with this qualifying, second qualifying effort, but that was the worst qualifying effort for the Mercedes, and now they got to have to start 11th and 12th. That was a good job, a P7. See if we can get a lot more quicker in the final qualifying session. was a good lap. P4. Man, we got better and better every time we got into the qualifying. What a good job that was. A minute 11.935. But Lewis Hamilton is on top of the board, but will it stay into the top 5? No, it's going to be a top 4. So that is the second race in a row that we have made it into the top 4 like we did in the US Grand Prix in Miami. And once again, Pepi Marti is going to start on the outside of row 2. Incredible qualifying it was for Pepi Marti. Made it into the minute 11 mark, and then we're going to be right with Lewis Hamilton and then the 2 Ferraris. Lando Norris and Piastri are starting 5th and 6th. That was a great qualifying right there. Good qualifying it was. Over that was give us less pressure when the rain comes through in the beginning of the race, but then later on it will clear up. We're getting ready for the race. Going to be 70 laps of racing here in the sprint race. Hopefully, the Pepi Marti can sweep it once again, like he did in the U.S. Miami Grand Prix. For episode number 7, Formula One My Team JPO Career mode. Here is the Bonjour Quebec Canadian Grand Prix.
We're back once again beside the St. Lawrence River here in Montreal for the Canadian Grand Prix. The event first moved to the variant of this track back in 1978, and it was won by none other than Gilles Villeneuve, the first Canadian to ever win his home race, and in whose honour the circuit would be renamed. It's a tricky circuit to tackle in wet conditions, with top speed still of critical importance down the long back straight. There are 2.7 miles and 14 corners overall on this circuit that in the dry can see average lap speeds of around 130 miles per hour. We'll be lucky to get anywhere near that today. Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. An immense lap from Lewis Hamilton yesterday puts him on pole position, and Max Verstappen lines up alongside. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Leclerc, Pepi Marti, Lando Norris and Piastri, Gasly, Sainz, Hadjar and Esteban Ocon, Antonelli, Russell, Fernando Alonso and Martins, Behrman, Bortoleto, Valtteri Bottas and Franco Colapinto, Lindblad, Albon, Hülkenberg, Stroll, Perez and Liam Lawson rounds off the grid. It's almost time for those 5 red lights to go out then. Let's see who can prevail today. And alongside me for the first time this season here in the commentary box, Naomi Schiff. Hello, Gnomes. And the whole world of Formula One can't exist the way we do, walking with smiles on our faces and loving our time together. This new outfit has got a bit of a rivalry going, and I get the feeling a few noses are being put out of joint here.
Well, first of all, I'd have to say hats off to them. I don't think anyone quite expected them at this point to be as competitive as they are. And I think truly that's the reason why they're upsetting some people. If anything, it's a compliment. You're doing everything right if you're upsetting your competitors. So for now, stick to what you're doing, forget the noise, and focus on just what you guys are focused here to do. Win races and move forward on the grid.
Okay, here we go. I know what you can do. Don't let me down.
All right, so we got the rain in the beginning of it, but let's take a look at our strategy. I know everybody's on the inters on this race, but let's take a look. And a little bit more fuel in there, and do maybe one more pump, because after the rain is over, then we could go back into the drives. All right, here we go. Getting set for the main event.
Decent parking. Let's try and get a good launch as the lights go out. Okay, so that's the rest of the grid forming up now. Be patient and watch for those lights.
Hopefully the light rain will be out early. All right, here we go. Starting on the second race in the morning. P4, 5 red lights are coming off the green event. Look at this 3 abreast start at the 2 Ferraris. Hamilton tell me Max Verstappen is going to be out early. No, I
Green
don't think
flag.
it's not, no way, it's not Max Verstappen. Oh man, Carlos Sainz again.
Virtual safety car, virtual safety car. Reduce speed
Yeah,
immediately
virtual
and keep
safety
a
car.
positive delta. Okay, slow down, slow down. Your delta's negative, which means you're going too fast. Reduce your pace. Okay, VSC ending. We're going green. Maintain positive delta until the green flags. ETA on this rain clearing up is about 10 minutes, so just keep your concentration out there. You're doing well.
Rated speeds of 177 miles an hour. This is the new thing with these cars that they did this year. There's no battery boost because it's disabled during rainy conditions.
No need to worry about the tyre condition for now. Everything's looking good.
give a big congratulations to Corey Hines for winning the Career race. It isn't only Formula One. Formula One is racing this weekend. And also good congratulations to the MotoGP in the Czech Republic Grand Prix. So another second win in a row for Marco Marquez. And it looks like this championship ain't over yet because Marco Marquez did not race because he pushed the margin and he got suspended for the race.
Weather's changing now. We're going to have to change strategy, so it's time to box. Understood. Copy that. Great work. That's a new fastest lap of the race.
All right, it's speed time here at the to the slick tires, and we're going to go with the hard.
Okay, Victor's in the pits. He's coming in for his stop now. Okay, so overtake is active. Overtake mode active. You're going to get more power from the hybrid system. You know how it works. Just use boost on the next long straight to get your way past. Okay, it could be a risk with the circuit this greasy, but we think the slick might now be the quicker tyre. If you think you can keep it on the road, let's consider swapping over.
We're going to come into the pits and get to put on these slick tyres.
Alright, we'll be doing one more stop today. One stop left in this strategy.
I'm glad we put on the hard tires, and that's what everybody else did as well. I'm half of them at the Canadian Grand Prix, so now we can stay out there longer and then go on to the final stop and put on the mediums.
This is our true position. We're on the same strategy. They've pitted as well as us, so warm up your tyres and make the most of this stint. Right, you've got boost mode available now. Use it if you want to.
And I cannot believe it. The car is going to get a quick pit stop.
Tyre condition still looking good. The car ahead of you's just fitted the hard tyres. Car ahead now on the hard compound. That was the fastest lap of the race. Keep this up. Well done.
Oh man, I overspeeded a little bit too much. And I got behind both of the Ferraris and ended up in second.
Gap to your teammate behind, 22.6 seconds. The rest of the way, we are going to be on drive. The next three format race will be in the second round race of the season at the British Grand Prix at Silverstone. Good job, that was the fastest lap of the race so far.
gap on Max Verstappen. We're about 3.2 seconds. We are coming. Pepi Marti is coming on Max Verstappen. First time the Red Bull has led and been dominating at the start of this race.
Great work. That's a new fastest lap of the race. Information on Lindblad. Okay, it looks like the problem's terminal. They're retiring the car.
Audi Lindblad is out of the race. That's his first DNF of the season for the racing board. And early out there for the Ford powertrain. We now got Sainz and Lindblad out of the race.
Yellow flag.
Yeah, that's for Arthur Lindblad from the top break.
Okay, clear. Good job. That was the fastest lap of the race so far.
Cracking into minute 14. Passing Max Verstappen, this will battle for the lead. Nope, he closed the door.
No need to worry about the tyre condition for now, everything's looking good. Okay, so we're leading our teammate by 33.7 seconds.
Fantastic job at taking Villeneauve, trying to go for his second sweep in a row. Up to 70 laps. We are now leading by about 5 seconds. We are filling the gap away from Verstappen. The two Ferraris are now third and fourth. Leclerc and Hamilton. The sun is finally hopped out here at the Triple Village.
Gap to your teammate behind, 42.8 seconds.
He's got a good 6-second advantage over Charles Leclerc, who's in third place. Lando Norris is in fourth. Begin to pass the lap cars here at the Canadian Grand Prix. This one along with Max Verstappen's car. Max Verstappen is about 11.6 seconds, and Charles Leclerc is closing the gap on Max Verstappen to P2. Well, it looks like our Ford is just kind of cruising around there a little bit. And it looks like Mercedes and Audi are taking the advantage. Especially Ferrari is taking a lot of advantage.
Okay, no issues with tyre wear for now. Keep taking care of them.
if he elected to go with soft tires, it didn't work out.
Okay, Victor's in the pits. Victor is in the pits now.
We took on hard tires. seconds now what we're trying to carry. Hamilton isn't too far behind Charles, though. And Lando Norris is in the 5th place.
approaching the pit window and you're going to be on mediums. Okay, we want you to pit this lap, so push now, push.
Who's going to be taking their first pit stop. Stay out there for a little bit. If you stop and pit, then you pit as well. After 43 of 70 laps, and almost to the 3/4 of the way mark in the closing stages of the Canadian Grand Prix.
Box, box, box. That's it. Go, go, go. That was a fantastic stop. Faster than we were expecting. Okay, stay clear of the white line on the exit. We'll receive a penalty for dangerous driving if you cross onto the track. Okay, Victor's in the pits. He's coming in for his stop now.
That'll be the last stop for our teammate, Pepi Marti.
No tyre concerns at the moment, just focus on the driving. Okay, safety car deployed. Safety car's been deployed.
Oh,
watch your
safety
delta.
car.
Make sure you keep it positive as we catch the pack.
Yeah, that was our first safety car of the race, and that's going to punch everybody into the field. Our first safety car of the race. It's the hot car spinning up, but I'm glad he was ghosted.
Right, drop your speed. Our delta's too low and we're going to risk a penalty. Slow your pace immediately.
And in that 36-second lead, this is going to be wiped away. Because the Haas car spins out in that sector and causes the safety car.
Okay, we're coming up to the safety car now. Do not pass it. You are the leader. Follow the safety car.
And the whole rest of the field's going to punch up. And that 35-second lead is going to be wiped away. Now it's going to be anybody's race when we get back into the restart after 48 of 70 laps. we're going to have a one-lap advantage right now. With 10 cars on the lead lap. Moving up is Pepi Marti.
Safety car is in this lap. Safety car in this lap. You'll be controlling the pace on the restart. Keep it steady until the safety cars reach the pit lane. Green flag.
That's the green flag for the Canadian Grand Prix with about 20 laps remaining. 3 laps, 2 laps to the finish. Surrounded by Carl Leclerc and now he has a chance to try to get second position. And Max Verstappen has plenty of boost on that board over the two Ferraris.
Tyre condition still looking good.
That safety car cost him. second and sweep well.
Okay, we're monitoring some wear on the internal combustion engine. Be aware that we're going to start to see a loss of power. No tyre concerns at the moment, just focus on the driving.
episode number 8 at the Monaco Grand Prix. He is on the move in the Mercedes. Just the way he is in real life. Pepi Marti now into third place. Taking that much advantage on those hard tires. I guess he's going to be having too little too late to be catching Pepi Marti. He's still got a good 11 seconds now over that master power. seconds now ahead of Max Verstappen. 4.5 laps away. He's sweeping it once again, like we did in the U.S. Miami Grand Prix. The Pepi Marti looking for his first win of the season and his second sweep race in a row. 2 more to go.
Okay, this is your final lap. Final lap of the race.
Final lap. One more time around at the Circuit de los Formula in Montreal. A whole lot faster confidence. 15-second lead. Pepi Marti. He is going to sweep it here in the Canadian Grand Prix in the final lap of the race. What an amazing job for Pepi Marti. He's going to take the checker and win his 5th win of the season in the Canadian Grand Prix, and he gets his 2nd sweep. Sweeping the sprint race in the main event. What a good job for Pepi Marti.
It's a win, and what a win for Pepi Marti.
Wow, that's 3 wins in a row. They really are on the roll now and really building great momentum. They're clearly one to look out for.
A show-stopping performance from the 3 drivers approaching the podium right now. It's been an interesting Grand Prix, that's for sure. It's been an absolutely wild weekend of Formula One action, and I can't wait to see what's next.
Oh, an excellent job for Pepi Marti, and he gets another 33 points, sweeping it once again for the 2nd race in a row. And 3 wins in a row, and the 5th win for Audi. Max Verstappen finishes in 2nd, and Lando Norris rounds out in 3rd. We don't know what happened to Kimi Antonelli. He was running in 3rd place, but then he looks like he made a pit stop and broken a wing or something, and then he got a top 10 finish. And what a tough break for Kimi Antonelli. Pierre Gasly, Isaac Hatcher did a good job. Piastri and Leclerc, Lando Norris came in 4th place on that one with 12 points. But we're going to gain ground on Lando Norris because he went into P4. So now we extend the lead to about 52 points. And Team JPO 45 Audi is on a roll so far. And then McLaren in 2nd, and then with 101 for George Russell, Oscar Piastri in 4th. And then Charles Leclerc rounds out the top 5. And McLaren is still leading in the Constructors' Point standings, while Team JPO 45 Audi is in 2nd, Mercedes in 3rd, Scuderia Ferrari 4th, and then Orco Red Bull Racing rounds up the top 5. Let's go ahead and take a look at the highlights and put our thumbnail in. What a great race it was at the Canadian Grand Prix. Obviously a wonderful start for Pepi Marti, keeping it out of trouble and not banging anybody's vantage point. He drove that car beautifully. And then on lap 19, we caught Max Verstappen to get onto the lead and then lead it for good. And then that was our moment of the race, passing Max Verstappen, going side by side with him, toe to toe. Then took over the lead, and then there was no turning back from there, and Pepi Marti sweeped it up at the Canadian Grand Prix. He did a magnificent job and a magnificent drive in getting the 5th win for the Audi. All right, we're going to see you later. And now we go up to 3 in our fan rating, so that means we can put more sponsors into the car, and then now we reach our first settlement of the car as well too. So that means now we get title sponsor loyalty.
Fantastic news! One of our parts is now developed. After completing a single part, it will be ready for fitting. We can select which car to install it on. Parts that have been dual developed will automatically be fitted to both cars. Head over to engineering and the assign upgrades screen so you can take a look.
So a good job here at the Canadian Grand Prix, and then you came away with the win. That was a good job. Keeping the car steady and everything else, and it was a great sweeping win for Pepi Marti and keeping up with leading the point standings. We won the top step of the podium, and then we also won our rivalry over Mercedes. That was a great job out there. And hitting another milestone as well. Looks like we get another owner's training that we can add in as well. We added the engineering, now we can go to the personnel. We can get the training program going and then focus on the aero a little bit too. And do durability research and then chassis research. Victory celebration, yeah, we're doing that as well. And also driver's wellness or performance reviews, we also get that cleared up. Oh, what a magnificent job we have done here at the Canadian Grand Prix. Keeping it nice and steady and everything else. See if hopefully my new channel will have another great chance of bringing it back up to where it's supposed to be. So a nice job tonight at the Canadian Grand Prix. We won it fair and square. We won our third win in a row, and we are on a roll this year with the Team JPO 45 Audi. But more of it is yet to come. And in our next episode, number 8, we do well at our favorite track at the Monaco Grand Prix. There'd be no boost over there at the Monaco Grand Prix, so we have to race it in our own way. Maybe Pepi Marti could have his name engraved into the Monaco history if anybody will survive the 78 lap race. That will be our next episode. So that is going to wrap it up here for our Formula One coverage. We'd like to thank everyone so much for watching on the Speed JPO 303 channel. I hope this new channel will do well and you'll see sim racing and then real life racing this time. Then make it right and then we'll have no trouble at all. Thank you so much for watching. I hope everybody has a good night. We'll see you then into the next one. Until then, so long everyone. Great win at the Canadian Grand Prix. We'll get them at my favorite circuit at Monaco. Until then, so long. Have a good night.